Hello internet, my name's Lave, and this week I won tickets to the regional premiere of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the latest adaptation of J.K. Rowling's book set in the world of Harry Potter. Now before I start, I have to confess that I'm not a super fan of the Harry Potter films. I've never read the books, so I've never been particularly invested in those characters, but I do hugely admire what they have done for the British film industry. I don't hate the films, but then I don't love the films either. I just like them. I think they're okay. However, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't intrigued by the trailers for this, and a lot of the films that I've been to see at the cinema recently have been a bit serious, so I was looking forward to seeing something more light-hearted and fun. So let's talk about this shit. So Fantastic Beasts takes place 70 years before the events that happen in Harry Potter in 1926, and we pick up with a character called Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne. It's revealed that he was a former student at Hogwarts who has been expelled, but he does have a huge passion for weird and wonderful creatures or beasts, which he collects and studies and protects from extinctions, containing them in his TARDIS-like suitcase. His devotion to these creatures takes him on a random trip to New York at a really bad time, as weird things are happening there which threaten to expose the secret magic community to the muggles, or the non-mages as they're called in this. Yeah, I know the lingo. The problems then escalate as some of the creatures escape from his suitcase, so he has to run around and gather them up before they cause too much havoc. All of the while there is a sinister power growing in the shadows, which I'm not going to spoil, you have to go and watch it. So there are two narratives going on there, and I think I'm going to stick with Newt's story arc for now, because I think that's the one that works the best, or the one that I found most enjoyable. As he arrives in New York, he catches the attention of Tina Goldstein, played by Katherine Waterston. She's sort of the equivalent to an FBI agent in the magic world, working for an organisation called the MACUSA. She's lost credibility with the organisation for something that happened in the past, so she's really keen to catch him and restore that credibility. As events unfold, she realises that he's not so bad, so she does begin to help him gather his animals, and by the end of the film they hint at a sort of romance between them, which I didn't really buy. Performance wise, I thought Katherine Waterston was okay. I think maybe she's a bit forgettable. I did like Eddie Redmayne as Newt, but I wish he'd toned down some of the mannerisms. He's a bit floppish. News travels fast. But overall, I did like him as Newt Scamander. I did, however, really like Dan Fogler as Jacob Kowalski. So he's just an ordinary muggle who gets entangled in the whole plot. He works in a can producing factory but dreams of opening his own bakery. I just really gravitated towards the character. He's a really likeable guy. I think he provides most of the laughs throughout the film. I think I just really gravitated towards him because it's through him that you're experiencing this magic world. I also really liked Tina's sister Queenie, played by Alison Sudol. She's sort of playing a ginger, telepathic Marilyn Monroe character. She's really great, and I actually really liked the romantic love story that develops between her and Jacob. And it's the formation of these four that forms the core of this film, which I wouldn't say always clicks, but perhaps that's because the story keeps bouncing back to a story involving Colin Farrell's character, Percival Graves. He's playing a wizard agent also within the MACUSA who's investigating these weird events. His motivations aren't always clear, as his investigations revolve around a character called Mary Lou, played by Samantha Morton, who has adopted a variety of weird and strange kids. It goes into dark territory there, as well as it's suggested that she's abusing her kids, particularly Ezra Miller's character Credence. I don't want to go into too much more detail, but if you've read the books, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. It bounces around between these two narratives, and as they come to a head in the third act, it felt a bit anticlimactic for me, but perhaps that's because I don't understand the relevance of a big reveal of a certain character, which also includes a big celebrity cameo. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything. I was just expecting a bigger ending, as it was building up nicely to it, but as I say, the importance of it might be lost on me. In terms of its visuals, I mostly liked it. I thought it captured the Depression era of 1920s New York really well. It really did remind me of Peter Jackson's King Kong in terms of of its visual tones and the colour palettes that they use. There were a couple of moments where I thought this was all let down by some really dodgy green screen, and I feel the same way about some of the CGI creatures as well. I thought some of them were good, but overall I think they looked more like they came from the Harry Potter from like 10 years ago. It doesn't feel like they've advanced the technology much since then. I'm not sure if this is going to hold up in 5 or 10 years time. Having said that, there were some CGI characters that I really liked and was really laughing out loud. There's this mole platypus like thing which keeps escaping from his suitcase and keeps stealing stuff. There's also a twig baby Groot like character which Newt always has on him. I really like that character as well. It's very cute. And there's also a really good cameo from Ron Perlman as a gangster Godfather goblin. Like, he was really funny. In terms of the direction, this is directed by David Yates, who has directed some of the other Harry Potter films, so it makes sense that he carries over into this. I think the overall style and feel of the films is still there, but there is one particular action sequence where I just completely lost what was going on. That could be due to the fact that I was sitting right at the front of the cinema in the corner. Overall though, I did actually enjoy this. I think it's probably on par with the other Harry Potter films, but then as I said, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, so take that as you will. So that's my thoughts on Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. I think this is a good reintroduction into the Harry Potter universe. I think if you're a fan of the Harry Potter films and the books, then you're probably going to take a lot more from this than I did. I thought it was an adequate family film with some really funny moments. It's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, but it hasn't made me fall in love with the franchise. I don't think this is going to be in my top 10 this year, but I did enjoy it. So thanks very much for watching my review. I really do appreciate it. It's coming up to about a year since I started doing this whole YouTube thing, and I'm nearly hitting 400 subscribers, and that's completely blown me away. So I really do appreciate it, and if you can, please give this video a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. Octolus Reparo, eh? Subscribe.